Hi, I'm Dr. Maggie Hayworth, and I help women abuse survivors heal their histories and their health with holistic wellness solutions using mind body medicine and nutrition and spiritual psychotherapy to help people get well on all levels. So, I'm wanted to talk to you today about emotional hangovers. So, just a few days ago, I was quoted on the internet by a doctor who said, the emotional hangover is real. And then he quoted me saying, emotions can make you sick. Emotions can, I don't know exactly what, but basically it's my work. Emotions can break down your cell tissue and they can make you sick. They can affect your body. They can affect your life. They can affect everything that you do. So, so what I wanted to talk about is the emotional hangover. Where does it come from, and what can we do about it? So, the emotional hangover. Now we can all relate to, you've had a big cry and you just feel drained, and you just feel like you can feel sort of a little like you're in a cloud, or you're sort of in a surreal kind of state after you had an emotional cry. And sometimes you'll wake up in the morning and you'll be very anxious or very fearful, or you'll just feel this kind of sense of cloudiness. I think, for those of you that are chronic fatigue syndrome survivors, right? I had it too, and I get it. It's chronic fatigue syndrome. It's really tough to go through. But there's a major link that I see in my clients, and I've seen in myself, that when there's a time of personal stress and there's a time of emotional overload, that you can get that same kind of feeling, that same kind of emotional hangover. And it can last for weeks. I think we liken, or we often, I think, call it depression. It's that similar kind of feeling, where you just feel like you're kind of in this bubble world and of emotions, heavy ones, like sadness and fear and anxiety. So all of these emotions that we're talking about, most people call them negative emotions, but I like to call them teaching emotions, because I believe that these emotions are here to teach us something about who we really are. And that when we get these lessons and we integrate them, then we can move forward and have just a better life experience. Just be happier, feel free, and more uh, just feel better. That's what so many of us want. We just want to feel better, right? So, so there's a few tips that I have. I made a few notes here, but there's a few tips that I have that you can do to help you with emotional hangovers. So, one of them is to take something off of your plate. If you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and you're doing too much and you're aware of it, especially for women, we all deal with this. There's got to be something that you can delegate. You may be thinking, no, there's nothing I can. I'm a mom and I got to pick up the kids. Blah, blah, blah. You know, there are other moms that will help you out. That will help you pick up your kids. There are other things that you could be doing. You could hire somebody to help you with some things that you need help with. You can look at your budget and say, oh, you know what? I don't really need to pay $450 for another handbag. I can take that money and put it into um, hiring someone to tutor my child, so that I'm not so stressed out about what's going on with them. Or hire somebody to help me clean the house. That's a huge thing. I know I have I call her my therapist. It's really the few types of help that I get. my 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 housekeeper, she comes in maybe once a month, and it's really not a big investment at all, but it is a big investment in my happiness. So because I walk into my house, it smells good, it looks good, it feels good, and I didn't have to spend 4 hours doing it. I get to actually work on my own work. So it's worth that, for 80, $100 or something a month. So I just take it from another line item that I don't need. and some months that are really easy. It's like, okay, I don't have to worry about that so much. So it's just, kind of weighing it out a little bit and seeing where you can take money from and put towards um, to help lighten your load. Um, and you don't always have to pay for that. There's lots of people out there that will be happy to help you out with things. You just may not be aware of who they might be because you've never really asked. So that's one thing that I would say is take the load off by delegating some things. Um, if you can't change something in your life, then do what you can to accept it or get therapy and get help to help you come to terms with it, or to learn to let go. A lot of our difficulties with emotions and emotional hangovers come from the inability of us to be able to accept things the way that they are or to change things that need to be changed in our lives. And you know what they are. Those are the things that sort of eke at you where you say to yourself, well, I really do need to stop eating sugar because I know it's making me sick. I know it's contributing to my problems. I really do need to. So it's those things that are sort of in the back of your mind. Getting to that decision point is the most important point you'll get to, because when you get to that decision point of I am doing this thing and you're committed to your decision to make a change, then everything opens up for you. Everybody you need to help you support you in that will happen. It will just come to you. It's just sort of how, it's the universe. They say the universe loves a vacuum. That's creating a vacuum for the universe. So acceptance is really important. And then all these different tools that I always recommend, like meditation, journaling, time in nature, talking to a friend, just reaching out and connecting, volunteering, doing something where you're helping somebody else who really needs your help, kind of helps you put things in perspective in your own life. Connecting with others in general. So getting involved in something, some organization or a church or um, uh, some kind of group. There's meetups all over the place where you can meet all kinds of new people. So if you're in an emotional hangover, you may not feel like you want to reach out. It may be hard for you. I get it. It can be really hard to reach out from that place of despair and sadness and disappointment. That's when it's the most powerful, because when you reach out from that place, that's when those things happen that we call miracles. Things show up for you that you would not have imagined. Um, it's just reaching out from that place is the most important time to reach out. So let's see if there's anything else in my notes. Let's see. Yeah, I talked about the stress. I think a big piece that I think contributes a lot to emotional hangovers is the pressure that we put on ourselves, especially as women. And I've talked a little bit about that in taking some of the pressure off of yourself, um, raising your self-esteem, raising your value and your worth by calling out your own qualities. What are the great things about me, and reminding yourself of all the wonderful things that you are doing, of how far you have come, and what your goals are going towards the future. Um, I think it's so easy for us to get caught up in what's wrong with us and what's wrong in the moment and what's wrong in our heads, our minds, and then reminding ourselves of what's really in our hearts all the time. There's love in there that's ready to just burst forth and bring you into joyful experience. So if right after hearing me say that, you're just like, right, Dr. Meg, then call me, let's talk. So I offer free consultations. You can just find me on the web at meghayworth.com, meghawrth.com. And I can help you with my whole person integration technique, which you can get for yourself. I use that for my emotional hangovers. I use my own technique, and it works really well because you're talking to the emotions. You can get it for free on my website. at meghayward.com. It's in my ebook, The 10 Steps to Overcoming the Effects of Victimization. It's also in my best-selling book called Get Well Now, Healing Yourself with Food and the Power of the Mind, that you can find on Amazon.com. You can find it on my website. So those that exercise can really help you release the emotions from the body, the way that you specifically are holding them, what they're thinking and feeling and believing, and how they affect your life. When you start to see the whole mix, it makes a big difference. If you want to do my whole person integration technique with me, I'm available. So I'm getting busy though, so please call and, and get in on this time where you can get a free consultation with me, and we'll go from there. So I love helping people get well. I love helping people heal their abuse histories, their health. The two are one. The adverse childhood experiences study and the quizzes on my website absolutely shows this. So did my own life experience of having overcome over a dozen illnesses, drowning, struck by lightning, and brain injuries from that. Been through a lot, and I love to help people go through what they're going through. So anyway, give me a call, and thanks so much for listening, and I hope that this information will help you get well now.